We're here with 3 powerhouses in the lean sector.
Some people saved money, made more profit. Recently, we've had a company who saved 8 weeks of production time.
We need to put them in the best position to survive, be flexible, be productive, be agile.
There's no substitute for direct observation. To see the turnaround of his company is just mind-blowing.
Tools and techniques, that's the easy, but it's getting your leaders engaged, motivated, and being able to sustain it. That's the real challenge.
Tools and techniques, that is the easy bit. It's getting your leaders engaged, motivated, and able to sustain it. That is the real challenge. Okay, what we're doing in this video is having a look behind the wall, behind the iron curtain, if you want to call it, inside school. And I've failed here already. We're talking to luck. What makes someone lucky? We're actually going to, there's a formula, believe it or not, to be able to engineer luck, which is exactly what we're going to show you today. It's out of the book, The Compound Effect. I'm going to tell you 2 quick stories. Number one, I didn't finish my prep properly just then, so hence I had to mess around while starting this video. I should have been looking into the camera here talking to you, messing around on my phone to get construction school up because I did that before. The video that I did before this one, I should have learned my lesson this morning, because what I did is I didn't do my prep properly for it either. And the first step of luck is actually preparation. I didn't do my prep properly either, and it recorded through the earphones instead of this microphone. This is the reason why I'm speaking to you. If you're watching this video on the construction school about page, so school, skool.com/scrum scrum about page. If you're watching it on that, I'm going to give you a look inside before you even come inside. 2 things that we're going to look at. One in particular, there's a free version of school. Anyone can jump in and start doing this stuff exactly what I'm going to show you right now with the free version. You can do that. There's something else called the Catalyst Academy, which is for people that want to move up the rungs quicker. I show you the exact formula, which funnily enough was inside this book, The Compound Effect, and I'll tell you the story how I went from a pipefitter to supervisor to superintendent inside 3 months. It's because I just worked out the other day because I had followed this formula. Everyone has a level of luck, even Richard Branson. This is from page 31 of The Compound Effect. When I asked Richard Branson if he felt luck played a part in his success, he answered, yes, of course. We're all lucky. If you live in a free society, you're lucky. Luck's around us every day. We're constantly having lucky things happen to us. Whether you recognise it or not, I've not been any more lucky or unlucky than anyone else. The difference is when the luck came my way, I took advantage of it. So my story, I'll tell you. Actually, so what this board does here is we'll show you who it's for. I'll tell you that in a second. Then have a look how luck actually plays a part, how it happens, where that happens, how you use luck to your advantage, and what actually works. I'll take you through that framework in a minute. What happened to me is I'd finished a construction project in Gladstone and I went up to Darwin LNG. This was the original one that they built back in 2004, 2005. First bit of luck. I ended up on a guy's team, crew, whatever you want to call it, called Tony Jones. I was lucky that I got on with Jonesy because I didn't know at that time, was going to this job down in Victoria when this one finished. Because I'd done these things just here, preparation, attitude, opportunity, and action, Jonesy saw what I did. I'd been a supervisor for a number of years before I landed on this job up there. Long story short, I ended up back on that job on the tools. He saw what I did there and went, man, you should not be on the tools. He said, you want to come to a little job in Victoria as a supervisor? Yep, no worries. So that was a stroke of luck that I got onto Jonesy's crew. But the luck stuck or went my way because of my preparation, attitude, opportunity, and action. Went down there. I was only there, it was inside 90 days. And the superintendent walked up to me one day and he goes, hey, Benny. I said, yeah, Pete. He goes, they just sacked their construction manager. He said, I'm the construction manager now, so that's good. He goes, yeah, now you're the superintendent. I went, that's great, but what does the superintendent do? He goes, don't worry about it. You're smart enough. You're a smart boy. You'll figure it out. The reason that luck went my way, there were 7 or 8 supervisors on that job. The reason I got picked is because I'd done the preparation, I had the right attitude. It was the opportunity presented itself and I took action. When he said, "You ready to step up?" I went, "Yep, righto, let's hit it hard." All right, so let's get into this. I'll show you how and why we do what we do inside construction school. You can very quickly work out whether it's for you or not. So, who this is for? You're what I call a catalyst. Catalyst likes to remove roadblocks and mitigates the resistance to change. They're the people who make things happen, get things done. They will not accept the status quo. They won't just do something because that's the way it's always been done. They're all about improving things. Quite often these people get branded as troublemakers or negative. That's because they get really, really frustrated with, they can see things that need to change. They know how to change them, but someone above them is blocking them and stopping them from being able to move up to the next role. This is what the Catalyst Academy is all about. So you take action, you're not afraid to call a spade, and you've probably had blues with people on site more than once. People that are above your level that don't appreciate your insights. Not all catalysts are like that. Catalysts come in all shapes and sizes, but they're the ones, specifically the troublemakers that I speak about. And you won't be told you can't do that here. The amount of times, if I had $1 for every time I was told, you can't do what you're trying to do here, Benny. This will work in manufacturing, doesn't work in construction. This is not it might sound good in one of your books. This is the real world, son. You won't let people tell you that. I've been told that over and over and over again. Guess what? There's a great line out of the book, Bleed for this, out of the movie, Bleed for this. And right at the end of it, he said, if you just do the thing they tell you that you can't, then it's done. That's what we're doing inside construction school. They told me, you can't do that here, Beanie. It might sound good in one of your books, but this is a construction site. You can't build a learning environment here. But I didn't start with a touchy-feely feel-good program or some poster. It started with a shelf. One shelf, a few books, a marble, a cricket ball, and a football. That's how you build a learning environment. Not with noise, but with signals. Signals that say, we improve here and we think here. We actually give a about getting better together. Human beings don't just need motivation. They need a purpose, autonomy, and a shot at mastery. When you build that into your environment, your team will grow and they will improve. And what happens next is they start to own the change with you. You want to build your culture? Start with a shelf. It is that simple. You can start with a shelf. All right, how do we turn on the luck? Get the luck running our way. Number one that he says in the book, the compound effect, is preparation. We use a specific formula for preparation. There's two ways you can do this inside. As I say, there's a free way to go and do it, okay? What I'm going to recommend everyone starts with is what's known as an ORCA debrief. That is the number one skill that you need to get in your toolkit if you want to start leveling up and having luck go your way on construction site, getting recognised for what you actually do. So when you get inside, if you hit the community tab up the top there is a number of different categories as you can see across the top here. So 90 days of ORCA are literally me running live ORCAs, doing the ORCA process, which is objective, results, causes and actions. It's a debrief session. It's something that fighter pilots use to continuously improve, okay? So I'm actually up to day 12 today. As you can see there, has that got the newest? So put the newest there. Every session that I've run is there. I've got a GPT that I use that steps me through that process. If you want access to that as well, just let me know when you get inside, you can have access to that. Of course, I take it up a level where I work with people in a group environment, which is called the Catalyst Academy. The first thing I'm going to do, whether you come into the Catalyst Academy or you come into the free part of construction school, is say to you, go and get 10 ORCAs done. That's your mission to start with. You want to turn things around inside 90 days, you're going to have to take action every day. First 10 days is go and do an ORCA. You don't need any level of authority to be able to do this. You can do this on the tools. You can use this in your little area. You can be a TA. Does not matter. You can go and run an ORCA process with the people that you work with and have it done. Become a catalyst. All right, so preparation is pillar one. We use a flywheel process here. So we plan with flex. So we plan our day before we start. This is built on the 3 pillars of success from Keith Cunningham. Plan our day before we start. We use a flex planning process. You don't start with that, right? I'm assuming you're on site. There's some level of planning going on, whether it's good, bad, or the ugly. There's at least some planning going on. So we're not worried about that just yet. Pillar 2 is we measure an output, a cause effect. The effect that we want to do is to be able to get recognised what's happening for our skills or our talents, whatever you want to call it, in our area. So what's going to cause that? The cause that's going to create that effect is doing these ORCA debriefs daily. People are going to start to see what you're doing. They're going to notice, they're going to pay attention. Your area is going, or your little bit that you're doing by yourself. When I was up in Darwin, LNG, I wasn't even running an area. It was just me and my TO. Jonesy, the guy that took me down to Melbourne, saw how I was operating with Pete, my TA, and what was happening, how many metres of pipe we were getting in, what was getting done. Okay? Then we supercharge it with AI, and we go around this loop. Every time we go around this loop, we get better and better at it. So preparation is key. That's number 1. Second thing that you need to, and you gotta remember, I've been told that I've got a bad attitude more times than I've had hot dinners probably. I tell the story, my little brother's 4 years younger than me, and he got into high school 2 years after I'd actually left school. He got the same English teacher, unfortunately for him, that I had. She looked at the roll call the first day and goes, Nathan Bean, because it would be in Bean, you're always at the top of the roll call, right? Nathan Bean, yep. Is your brother Adam Bean? Yes. She said, I hope you're nothing like him. He was a real troublemaker. She actually said to me when I left school, good luck, Adam, you're going to need it. All right, so what do I mean by attitude? We need to be, like Steph Curry says, shot ready. And he says, you don't practice until you can get it right. You practice until you can't get it wrong. We need to be, one of the things that we need for our attitude is we need to be coachable. I'll let you, Steph, tell you about that.
One of my biggest strengths is being able to be coachable and be able to be open-minded about different perspectives and to be challenged in that way. Obviously having a strong conviction of who I am as a person and what my strengths and weaknesses are, but you also have to be open to, you know, either experts in the field and the ability for somebody to kind of pull the best out of you. You have to have a team around you, and nothing that you do great in this world you do by yourself. So invest in that, because that's huge.
Nothing you do great in this world, you do by yourself. A great person to have on your side is what I call a wingman and a catalyst. We'll get to that afterwards, but also a coach. And a coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who as you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you have always known you should be. That's from the legendary coach, Tom Landry. The other thing that we need to understand with our attitude is that things aren't always going to go to plan. We're not going to be lucky 100% of the time. In fact, we're really only going to be lucky about a third of the time. I'll let you, this Olympian, tell you all about that.
Olympic coach told me after a particularly challenging workout where I could not hit my splits before going to the Rio Olympics that was okay. It was the rule of thirds, and he was an Olympian, so I was, I always soaked in everything he said, and I was like, what's the rule of thirds? And he said, when you're chasing a dream or doing anything hard, you're meant to feel good a third of the time, okay a third of the time, and crappy a third of the time. And if the ratio is roughly in that range, then you're doing fine. So today was the crappy day along your dream chasing.
Right.
And if the ratio is off, like you feel too good all the time or too bad, then you got to look at if you're fatiguing or not trying hard enough or pushing yourself. So I think with those days that you're talking about where like creativity doesn't come or doesn't feel great, you still show up because maybe that's your crappy day. But it doesn't mean that you quit the goal. It means that you show up and live through that dip.
Even on the crappy days, you still show up. This process here The ORCA process is not something that you just do on the days where you feel lucky, where things are going your way. When you're having an average day or whether it's going against you, we do this. You show up every single day and do this. That's how you get it to compound. We've done our prep. We're working on our attitude. What comes next is opportunities, when the opportunities present themselves. The opportunity presents itself and you think, oh, I'm going to be lucky, I'm going to get a great opportunity, given a nice area, everything's going to be clean, great start. No. Opportunities sit in this quadrant just down here. Most construction projects that you're going to be on, shutdowns, whatever you do, it's going to be one of these three things. A bit of a shit show, a real shit show, or a complete and utter shit show. Sometimes you get the fourth level, which is a cluster, you know what. That's an opportunity. That's your opportunity to show. That's your opportunity to say, we're not going to operate like everyone else. We're going to be better than everyone else. How much better? We can get 6 times better by focusing on this process. Let you, Paul Akers, tell you just how to do that.
The world is dysfunctional. Organizations are highly dysfunctional. And those people that do lean correctly, no one can touch them. The differential is not, 50%, 100%, it's 600%. They dwarf everyone.
The differential is 600%. If you follow this process here, this is based on Paul's 2-second lean process, and I have amped it up. Amped it up with the 3 pillars of success, amped it up with AI, and amped it up with debrief and flex planning. 2-second lean is when something gives you a shits or you're struggling with something, you stop and you fix it. So when they struggle, you stop, you work out what the problem is, you remove the problem. You take a before and an after picture or video of it, and you share that and you move on. It's a continuous loop. That's what he did. That's how he get his people 6 to 9 times better than industry averages. You're going to do that. That is your opportunity. Your opportunity sits in this quadrant down here. One that's looking like that. Your opportunity is to come along. If you're not the top of the tree, you're not the project manager, you're anywhere below him, from anyone that comes on site, below the project manager. Your opportunity is to remove some of this. Move some of that and move up to here, which is known as flawless execution. It's the catalyst role. Now, in this video that I'm going to show you right now, Jason Schroeder asked me what is the #1 role of the project manager. The #1 role of the project manager is to get everyone heading in the same direction. If you can be doing that for your project manager out in the paddock, you become an invaluable asset. You become the wingman who's got their back, you help them create alignments, and you help them avoid the traps. Your job as a catalyst is exactly the same as a project manager. Get everyone that you can, that you have influence over in your area, heading in the same direction.
This is a big one, and I've asked a project executive that I respected a lot what the answer to this one is, but I'm going to ask you. When you think about the real objective of a project manager, going back to that loop, what is their actual mission? So that we can bring it home for the listeners.
Okay, so the actual mission is, I'd go back to the book by Patrick Lencioni, 5 Dysfunctions of a Team, and a quote in there that says, if you could get all of the people in an organisation rowing in the same direction, you could dominate any industry, any market, under any conditions, at any time. If you could get everyone, the PM's job is to get everyone headed in the same direction. If he could do that, you'll build any project under any circumstances, ever gets thrown at you at any time. That's my opinion. In my opinion, that is his #1 job.
I love that, and kudos to you for pronouncing his name right. I always get that wrong.
All right. We know what we need to do to prep. We know what we need to do for our attitude. We understand what we're looking for in the way of an opportunity now. Last step to getting lucky is taking action. As I said, inside construction school, once you get inside, there is 90 days of ORCA improvement videos in there that you can start taking and using and doing that yourself. I'll run live sessions in there regularly where you jump on. If you've got a question, we jump on and we'll work through it. Okay? Not sure how ORCA process works. We tried it on site, but it didn't quite work. This happened, that happened, whatever it may be. You can always reach out to me. All you got to do is click on my little face there, and that will take you to, actually, go to, where's my profile? Nope. Didn't prep properly. If you click on my face, you're going to go to my profile, actually. So it's school.com/@Beanie, BEANIE. You can DM me inside there. It has a direct message function, okay? The other thing you could do is sign up, and this is a paid program, the Catalyst Academy. This is where I'm going to work in groups and help them implement this stuff. Make sure, kick their backside. Where's your debrief? What have you done? How's your debrief going? Is it improving? Is it not improving? Once you've got debrief sorted out, then we'll start to work on flex. How do you get flex going? How are you tracking? We'll give you a tracking sheet. I see your outputs. Are you doing those regularly? Are you doing those consistently? If you'll follow that, if you did that plan every day for 90 days, as Keith Cunningham says in The Road No Stupid, he hates pithy, simple formulas. But he goes, the 3-step process for, what does he call it? I'll think of it in a minute. He said, if you will plan your day before you start, have a measurable output or outcome, and then report your progress to someone. He said, you'll be astounded at the progress that you will make over 90 days. 3 pillars of success, he calls it, funnily enough. Pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar 3. I just amped it up, put a few things together. Once you start going around this loop, it's like a flywheel, it spins, and you'll get better and better and better at it. That's it. There's a number of other things inside the community. So the executive lounge is for PMs and CEOs, general managers, project directors, those sorts of people who want one-on-one help or small group environment help, but it's a lot more expensive. Of course, it's $5K a month. If you just want to be a catalyst on a construction site, you can jump in there. This is all in US dollars as well. It's $197 a month to jump into the Catalyst Academy. There's another free course in there on Scrum. You can take that and do that. You have to actually achieve some points, work your way up. You start as I'll show you how the actual members work. So you got members, where is leaderboards? School, I don't know how much you know about it or not, is built off leaderboards and using gamification, which drives a lot of this stuff up in this corner up here, okay? It'll help you. You'll learn this stuff inside of school, whether you work with me inside the Catalyst Academy or not. They studied startups to figure out why they operate, why they can get these results, like Paul's talking about, 600%, 6x better than everyone else. What they found was there was a dozen attributes that they had. You can learn most of these inside school. So school becomes an interface because we do videos to let everyone know what's going on. I actually have a way that I could run a whole site from school. Get this broadcast across the site. If you know someone that would be interested in looking at that, send them across to ambitioustarget.com. That's the program where I do that. So it can help you create experimentation within your crew. 2-second lean. We had this little problem. We did this thing to fix it up. This is the result now. Creates autonomy for everyone on your team. Everyone's learning. They're working out. As you start teaching this, they can take the ORCA away and do the ORCA by themselves and their little teams. Social. I do all my stuff on social media, but you don't need to do it on social media for it to be social. Inside school, it's there to build this community and crowd. Make it very social, which is whole important when you're working, particularly FIFO, okay? If you've ever done any of that sort of work, I've done years and years and years of it. It's like we've got 2 lives. We've got a home life and we've got an away life where we're in camp. The better we can create the social and community, the better we all are. It's a leveraged asset. You don't need to worry about that one. And it helps create engagement across everyone. Because what we're really trying to do with all of this is just help people get the best out of themselves. What else is the show? Oh, the leaderboards. Leaderboards. So you start as you start as a fourth grader. So you earn points. The way that you earn points is you comment on a post. I did this ORCA session today, Benny. This is what I learned. People like it. The more that you value that you add in your comments, as your comments get better, the more likes you'll get, okay? So you need X amount of points, fourth to seconds. Then it starts to get a bit tougher. You need more and more points as you move up through the levels. What else can I show you in here? So the calendar, that'll have all the events. I haven't got any locked in there at the moment, but there's always events coming up, which are the live stream sessions that I do to show you ORCA, flex planning, whatever it may be. Community, there's a heap of stuff in there that you can go and look at. Ton of videos that I've put in there. Start here. Funnily enough, it's a really good place to start. I recommend that you join the Hat Trick Club, which is you actually get 3 little, actually let's click it open and show you exactly what it does. Most people join school and then like scroll, watch from the sidelines. Not here, not you, because you made it this far. I'm tipping you're here to make things happen on your project, not watch from the sidelines. The Hat Trick Club is your fastest path out of 4th grade and in a momentum where you actually learn the tools that make your site run better. Here's the deal. Make your first pact. Learn about ORCA and comment for 3 days. Watch a 2-minute video, any of the ORCA videos, drop 1 comment. I like it, you score points, you move up through the level 3 days in a row and you got your hat trick. So that is the post that I would start with when you first get in there. Message me as well. I always message everyone that joins up. So the first thing I'll say to you is, how did you find out about construction school? Where did you learn about it? 2 reasons. Number 1 is I want to know where people are coming from, how they're finding out about me. And number 2 is I want to make sure that they are genuine about being in the community, adding value and engaging. If they don't even bother to answer that question, then I don't let them in. If they look like they're just in there trying to sell stuff or scam or anything else, the school platform's got to pull them straight up anyway. If I don't think they're in there, them being in there is in the best interest of the community, then they just don't get in. All right, so why this works. You don't need any authority. There's no authority required to become a catalyst. You got a pair of work boots on and you're on a site, you got all the authority you need. You just got to make small incremental actions, but they'll drive massive results. It's simple. Must be simple for it to actually work. Dr. Eli Goldratt told us that. It's based on what my good mate Tom Hughes calls the great process. You got to get to the Gemba, which is where the work's done. It needs to be recognised, the process needs to, which is that. That's easy to recognise, it needs to be easy to do. Anyone can do this stuff. It needs to be available where you're going to do it. That's why I've made it, put it in ChatGPT, on the phone, school. You can just jump into the app and see it out in the field. And you need to be tested and trained. That's why we do the live sessions inside school, the test you. It eliminates what they call in Lean the 8th waste, which is unused people potential, talent. And it creates focus. All right. If you watch this far, there's 1 or 2 stories going on in your head when I say, do you want to join school or the Catalyst Academy? Number 1, you're either thinking,
you son of a bitch, I'm in.
Or some people think a bit more like Roy Kent.
Roy, you come to the club tonight?
Hold on, will you be there?
Of course, bro.
Then fuck no.
As I say, either's good. I like to say I'm an acquired taste. I'm not for everyone. Regardless whether you want to work with me inside the Catalyst Academy or not, if you want to change things, take that process and use it. It'll work. Whether you join construction school, don't join construction school, go into the Catalyst Academy, don't, whatever. Focus on that. Take it, use it, Make it a great week. Don't let anyone tell you that won't work here, because they don't know what they're talking about. Speak soon. They told me you can't do that here, Beanie. It might sound good in one of your books, but this is a construction site. You can't build a learning environment here. But I didn't start with a touchy-feely feel-good program or some poster. It started with a shelf. One shelf, a few books, a marble, a cricket ball, and a football. That's how you build a learning environment. Not with noise, but with signals. Signals that say, we improve here and we think here. We actually give a about getting better together. Human beings don't just need motivation. They need a purpose, autonomy, and a shot at mastery. When you build that into your environment, your team will grow and they will improve. And what happens next is they start to own the change with you. You want to build your culture? Start with a shelf.